Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I am reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading Satellite Office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Wednesday, February the 6th, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. Want to first start off by taking a look to see how the indices closed the session out today here. The Dow Jones was up a little over 7 points, closing out the session up 7.22. The NASDAQ was down a little over 3 points, closing out the session down 3.10. And the S&P 500 was up 0.83. The weakest index across the board today was the NASDAQ, but pretty much just a quiet day in the markets. We had a little bit of selling pressure on the open. They started buying the market back up around say 10:30. Sold the market off around again around say 12:30 or so, and then we got bought right back up around the 2 o'clock into the close. Kind of choppy action. Really was a day where you probably were better off not trading or just focusing on a couple of stocks. Either way, we were able to call out actually some decent trades in the chat room and made some decent profits today. However, it's not a day where you would be looking to make where you'd be looking to take make some double hitters. Today was more of like a base hit day. No home runs at all today, unless you're in a couple of names like Netflix, Apple when they came out with that news. So aside from that, let's go ahead and take a look at the markets. Before I go over the markets, let's take a look at the breadth. We had 3,494 issues advancing. We had 2,617 issues declining on the NYSE, NASDAQ, and Amex. So therefore, breadth was in favor of the bulls today. A little over on a one-on-one basis there. All right, so let's take a look at the SPY daily chart. The SPY was up 11 cents, up 0.07%, closing the day out at 151.16. You can see here we recouped these moving averages here, the short-term moving averages, the 8 EMA, the 5 EMA. And like I said, you can't keep a good market down. People are just buying the market. I mean, the ES was down. The S&P 500 futures were down overnight. They were selling off, and they bottomed right back up here. And you can see this is the hourly chart of the ES. This is something I use to take a look at the market here in the morning to get my levels off of, along with other various charts that I use. But you can see here we had a triple top up here around this 1510 level. We have this little top right here. All right, we had this that took place on Friday. We had this little top right here that took place on Tuesday. We had this little top right here that took place, overnight during the morning session. I believe that's around the European session. Yeah, when the European session started. So we got a little triple top right here. And then today we made a little lower top right there, which was a lower high, which they started to sell, but then they brought it right back up against that 1502. One thing that I'm noticing is that every morning when I write the levels out for our guys in the chat room and everybody that follows us on our Facebook page at Wall Street Trading, where we give you guys great information. They had the levels there for you guys to watch on the ES. I've been noticing that I've been using the same support levels: 1499, 1499, 1496, 1494, and 1491, which kind of tells me we're just just hovering around this area. Every time we sell it below those levels, after hours, we recover them, and those levels come back into play in the morning session and act as support. So that's one thing I'm taking note of right there. But in any case, let's go ahead and just take a look at this market. So the SPY breaking above this 150, 150 and holding above it should take us towards 152. Remember, based on the weekly time frame, our next resistance area that we have is around 152.87. Then based off the monthly time frame, the highs that we made back here in November of 2007, those highs are 153.41. So I would say holding above 152.5, 151.5 is bullish. If we continue to chop around these highs above 151.30 and can't break above and hold above it, expect us to probably come down back towards the support base down here around 149.36. Let's take a look at the triple Qs. The triple Qs, same thing here. They cannot seem to break and hold above this 67.38 level. As you guys recall, we have a lot of supply right here from this action right here. So this is a lot of overhead supply. All right, and you can see we trapped some longs in there. Was it 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? All right, as we broke above the 67.38 level, we gapped down the next day. All right, we tried to break above it here, we failed. We tried to break above it here, we gapped down the next day. We tried to break above it here, and close above it, we gapped down the next day. So 67.38 is a tough level on the triple Qs. If we continue to see this pattern, I would think that people are going to start just getting short the market, expecting to move back down towards the bottom of the range, 67.17, and then maybe expecting the gap fill down here towards 66.15. But in the meantime, just keep, just make sure you realize that we're still in a range here between 66.17 and this 67, call it 67.38, 67.40 area. All right, we've been in this little range for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, going on 6 weeks now. All right, so when we do get a break and hold above, or when we do get a break and hold below, there's definitely going to be some tradable action right now. So try to trade light in this environment that we have right now. Don't try to hit home runs or double hitters. Go for a little base hits, a little quick scalps, and that's what's paying us right now. That's what's working for us right now. And be very stock selective. In any case, the Qs, levels you want to watch is down here around 66.50 or so. All right, top side, if we can hold above, now I'm going to say if we can hold above 66, 67, 67.77. Well, if we can hold above 67.38 and we get a nice little day where we hold the 67.38 bid in the early morning session on the Qs, and it looks like we could trade up for the rest of the day, then that will probably be the day that we can expect to break out back up towards these 67.80. So we'll have to wait and see on that one right there. The IWM is pretty much just hanging around here. You can see how it's respecting our 50% channel line. But as you guys know, these upward channels usually resolve to the downside unless we do what we did right here, which is a little upward channel, and we broke above it. You can see we're in this nice little upward channel again right here. And unless we break above, as you guys know, upward channels, when you break this, they usually result to the downside. But when you break the top of the channel, it usually gives another momentum push higher. And now this act as support. The top of the channel will act as support, kind of like it did right here when we broke out, acted as support, and we're holding it. All right, and that's a little bit of the channel trading stuff that I show everybody in the chat room. We do offer an education course on channel trading. If you're interested in that, you can contact. If you're interested in that, you can contact me at ccooper@wallstreettrading.com, and it gets more advanced than this stuff right here. In any case, IWM, still looks pretty good. The levels you want to watch, if we could break above 90, 67, and hold, we should be looking for a move over 91, and this will be making new all-time highs. And if we break below, I would say if we break below 89.20, you could be looking for a move down towards 88.68, back down towards this moving average right here. You can pretty much see we're in a range here between 86.68 and 90.70. Let's take a look at the dollar futures. The dollar futures showed a little bit of buying pressure today here. You can see we're kind of coming back in this little area where we're back testing this little trend line that we broke. Right, if we have a little wick action right there showing that there were some sellers on the highs today. If we roll over back here, that's going to be the lower high off these little 3 lower highs, and that will definitely be something that warrants our attention and possibly getting us back bullish on some commodities and some key stocks that benefit when the dollar is weak. So still need some more time here. One thing to take note of, though, is that this dollar cannot break below the 79 level ever since back here last March. You see we keep on holding that level. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times we've been holding that level. Looks like obviously the Fed could be supporting that level on the dollar futures. They could be doing some currency, I wouldn't say currency manipulation, but some currency movement to keep the dollar strong and above that 79 level base right there. So keep that on watch. Let's take a look at the euro real quick here. Then we'll take a look at our commodity stocks. The euro, still holding above that key trend line, still holding up pretty well here. Until we break below this 134.5 and hold below it, you want to remain neutral to bullish on the euro as the trend is higher, and there's still some nice little order flow to the top side in that right there. And we just use that as a gauge with the dollar, and along with the correlation with the market, as the strong euro usually has been keeping the market up and keeping the dollar weak, which is a good setup for a market to continue floating higher. All right, so let's take a look at the commodities now. Starting off with the gold futures. All right, I know a lot of you guys look at the gold futures. I know a lot of you guys look at the GLD. So we're going to start off with the gold futures. Gold futures is in this nice little tight triangle right here from these little highs. And one thing that we have to watch for tomorrow is to see if we're going to get a break above this level right here, or we're going to come back inside the triangle. At the same time, we continue to remain above this key trend line that we've been tracking for the past couple weeks to months here. And as long as we continue to hold above this key trend line, we can expect gold to just kind of float higher to sideways. We really need to get back above the 1690 level and get back above these 1700s. Let's take a look at the GLD. All right, the GOD was up 43 cents today. The GOD needs to get above this 163 area and hold above it to give us more conviction that we could possibly start moving our way towards back up towards 165 or so. All right, so above 163 and holding on bullish. If we continue to fail at this area, we're going to be looking for a move back down towards the bottom of this little range right here. All right, back down towards this 160 level. Now let's take a look at the GDX because these mining stocks have been acting a little bit bullish. One thing I don't like is that they bounce in the morning, they gap them up in the morning, they don't hold it up, they don't hold their prices, they fade them, and they buy them like around 11:30. So it's pretty tough to try to gauge them a bit if you're not watching them, as other things obviously warrant more attention throughout the day. If these things don't hold their morning gains, you really want to just focus on something else that's a little bit better, as this sector has been a little bit tough to trade, a little bit choppy. But again, I still think we're up for some brighter days ahead in the sector with some nice tradable action. As remember, one thing that we're watching for is that move maybe back up towards that 44 support level that's going to now act as resistance, which is also going to coincide with this key trend line from this little channel that we've been highlighting that we couldn't break above right here. All right, you can see that we've been holding this, the GDX has been holding this 42 base for the past 3 sessions now. So therefore, if we continue, this 42 base, so if we continue to hold this 42 base and take out 43, we'll be looking for a move up towards this 44s. And that's when it's going to be real important to see what happens. Do we break back above 44 and break inside this channel, or do we go to 44, make a little lower high and fade back down, or do we just continue to trade sideways here between this 41.5 or so, this 43, and then roll over? So I mean, a lot of stuff setting up here. This is definitely going to give us some nice little tradable, trendable action. Possibly you just got to wait for more signals on it. I mean, I was watching this SLW today, which I've been watching for the past couple of days here, and it's going higher, but I'm really trying to get a nice little intraday trade on it, and it's not giving me that nice intraday trade that I want, and I missed it today. I was calling this one out in the chat room. We were watching it down here around the 36.65 area. That obviously went down, so we got stopped out of that one right there, but then we I took my eyes off of it, and I didn't set another alert on it. And then when they gave this nice little pattern right here to get involved in it right there, when silver was running intraday, we missed that move right there. So therefore, we're going to keep an eye on this stock. We're going to continue to watch this stock here to see what it wants to do. But if the miners look strong, you want to make sure you take a look at SLW, like I've been saying for the past week or so now, week plus or so now. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at that silver since we're talking about silver wheaton. Silver looking pretty decent. I like this little pattern right here. All right, it has a nice little pendant pattern going on right here. And silver is actually trading stronger than gold. And therefore, if this thing breaks out, we could get a nice move. Keep an eye on SLV. You want to make sure you watch that volume come in there. As you can see, volume has been pretty low and has been declining for the past couple sessions or so. But once we get that nice little uptick, we're going to be on top of this SLV, and we're going to be playing it via SLW, or you can take a look at CDE. Some of the other miners out there, they're not acting strong at all. EXK is another miner, but that one's acting weak. You can take a look at PAAS. That one doesn't really look that good. So the strongest one out there is SLW. Or you can just play the AUQ, I believe it is, or AUG. What's it? 3 times silver. It's the AQU. Let me see. I'm just starting to find this symbol here. What's SSRI doing? I forgot the symbol for the 3 times silver ETF. I know it starts with the AUQ or something like that. I'm not quite sure. I forgot. I'll take a look at it. I'll find it pretty much. Actually, let me find it right now. In the meantime, while I'm finding, I could talk about this action we had in the market today. Some decent action in the market today. Again, it was still choppy. So you got to make sure that you're careful, as this market is chopping up around here. As a lot of people don't know which direction we want to take it. Now I'm getting this little US. What's the symbol here? USLV. I don't think that's the one I'm looking for. All right, as this one doesn't do much volume. In any case, keep an eye on silver, guys. Let's see here. Let's take a look at copper. What's copper doing? A lot of the growth commodities were weak this morning. Crude oil, which got a nice little bounce, which we'll take a look at here shortly, and copper was weak, but copper got a little bounce as well. Copper, not really much going on right there. It is holding above this 373 level, though. Let's take a look at crude oil first via the crude oil futures. They were down a lot this morning here, but then they rallied about 2 points off the lows. You can see here they hit a low this morning of 95.04, and then we closed it up here at the 96.86. A nice recovery there. And once we get above $98 a barrel on the crude oil, that's when it's really going to be a go. And that's when we're really probably going to start to hear them say about talk about reports about how rising energy prices are going to affect the consumer and get rid of some of the discretionary money that we have to spend in our pockets, which will probably cause some selling pressure in some of the retail stock and some of the discretionary sectors and stuff like that. But we'll be on top of that, and we'll keep you guys informed with that right there. So let's take a look at the USO, which is the ETF for crude oil, and you can see this one's still lagging. You can see how the crude oil futures is up in this little range right here, but USO is kind of lagging behind. So I'm waiting to see if this is ever going to catch up and try to trade back to the top of the range, top of that band, at least touch it or something. But you have a nice little kind of downward channel action forming right here on this USO, and a lot of the energy stocks had a nice little move this morning. And then some of them faded, and then some of them kept on, some of them traded sideways off those early morning gains. So keep an eye on USO. Still looks pretty decent. They were buyers this morning on the gap down, and now this 34.5 level is acting as a support area. And you can say we're in the range between 34.5 and this 35.57. All right, so let's talk about some stocks now. Apple obviously had a nice little bounce today. I want to talk about Apple because everybody's talking about Apple. I want to make sure I show you guys kind of what I see going on in Apple. Apple pretty much trading sideways. It needs to get above 466 and hold above that level. Until then, you can expect it to trade in this little range between 466 and 435 until we break above and hold or break below and hold. But just take note that we have a declining 20-day exponential and simple moving average. It's going to be coming down on the price action, so make sure you're aware of that right there. Amazon got sold off today. This thing cannot catch a bounce for nothing. One thing you have to be careful, though, is trying to short right here because you can see it's still holding above this prior resistance. All right, which is now acting as support. You can see we chopped it below it right there. We got back above it. We chopped below it back there, got back above it. So if we can continue to hold this 262 level, or I should say this 260 level here, that coincides with the 50-day simple and exponential moving average, we can maybe get a pop here. So they're probably just doing a little bit of shake of the tree, and then we're going to probably rock it back up, but we'll keep an eye on that one. One stock that I do have on watch for tomorrow that has been lagging with these other big cap technology stocks that looks like it may try to show some, not I wouldn't say show some leadership, but try to catch a bid is FFIV. This one has been chopping around here, as you can see, but it finally has gave us a consecutive positive green close, all right, above this 105 level. You can see it's trading this little range right here, consecutive closes around this 105 level. But now we finally have two back-to-back higher closes here, confirmed higher closes. All right, so we have this one on watch for tomorrow for our traders. All right, I try to trade this one today. This one, I try to actually trade this one like in this little area right here. Try to get involved in this little pullback. It popped up, then it came back, and so I got out for a flat. You can see pretty much it was just trading sideways, but I like how it held this 107. As you guys know, the stock has not been able to break and hold above 107. I mean, you can just take a look at the 50-minute chart per se, and you can see for the past couple of days, every time it was to get above 107, it failed. It failed. Couldn't break above. So now today we actually broke above it, and we held a bit above 107. So this one actually looks good to these 108 highs. And it had some nice little volume come in there after consolidating here. All right, so this one is on our radar, on our A-list for tomorrow. The natural gas stocks are looking strong. You can take a look at COG. All right, this was a sector that I was talking about. If you follow me on Facebook at Chris Cooper, I was talking about there was a sector that they're buying up, and that was the natural gas sector. Believe it or not, I said that last night, and I didn't even trade these. I was focused on some other setups. But COG looks pretty good. RRC, this one had a nice explosive move. Continue to watch RRC holding above 71. You can take a look at DVN, Devon Energy. This one is kind of bull flagging right here underneath this 200-day exponential and simple moving average. You got your nice little up move, bull flag right here between 57 and 58.50, call it. This thing breaks out, guys. This thing's going to be on a tear. I believe we have natural gas inventory numbers coming out tomorrow or so, and this one's probably looking pretty good. Take a look at the 60-minute chart, and you can see a little bit cleaner here. Nice little up move, sideways consolidation. Try to break out today, but they're just shaking the tree a little bit there around this 58 level. You can see it broke it above, broke it back below. Keep an eye on this one, holding it above 58. And then you got CHK, which this one is kind of quiet right now, but holding it pretty well, holding the rising 5 EMA. Take a look at that 60-minute chart, and this one's probably going to be rated for some gangbuster action tomorrow off of the inventory numbers for for Nat Gas. You can see this one is pretty much holding around this $20 bid right here, and needs to break over these 20.75 or so to try to get back above this 21.25. So we got these natural gas stocks on watch to see what they want to do. Let's take a look at IBM here. IBM gap down, caught a bid right on the rising 20-day exponential moving average, EMA and SMA. Take a look at the hourly chart real quick here. And you can see this one gap down, caught a bid. Amazon's really kind of dead money right now, in my opinion. Not really nothing to do right there unless you're like a long-term holder or something like that. The intraday action on it's not all that great, just as well as for anything else out there. Energy stocks look pretty good. ExxonMobil, CVX, Schlumberger had some selling action today. This one doesn't look that good, but a little shake out there. Let's see how this one. I actually have some channels on this one too. Nice little shakeout, close right on my channel line. We'll take a look at the 60-minute chart on this one. We'll see how that one plays out. They started buying that one in the last 2 hours of the day there. NOV, this one has been getting crapped on. Let's see here. SWN, another natural gas stock. This one looks pretty interesting right here. Kind of forming a little pennant here on the daily chart. Look for this one to maybe make a nice move. Take a look at the 60-minute, and you can see it held this 33.80 bid, and really needs to break above 34.80. I continue to have this one on watch as well with the rest of the other stocks that I'm watching. What else do I want to talk about here? GMCR obviously had earnings after the bell. Take a look at the 5-minute chart on it. Let's throw the extended session on here. And you can see this one pretty much got hit. And it's down. But it held this 43.62 level support. We'll watch this one tomorrow. Visa had earnings after the bell. This one got hit a little bit as well. We'll be watching that one. ACAM had earnings after the bell. This one got smoked. Closed at 41.58, and it's now at 35.05. Wow. They got smoked. I got to look at the numbers and see what happened over there. In any case, we'll have some more stuff on watch, guys. Hope you guys had a great day today, and I'll catch you guys bright and early in our chat room. If you are looking to get access to our chat room, you can email me at ccooper@wallstreettrading.com. We will have the CRM fixed on the website, so that you will be able to enter your information there and get the credentials emailed to you. If you're looking to trade with a proprietary trading firm that actually, cares about your success and actually kind of helps you to guide you along the way via myself, my years of experience, my partner's years of experience, make sure you contact me at ccooper@wallstreettrading.com. Got a lot of good stuff for you all out there. And that's about it, guys. Have a great night, and I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Cheers.